Hi everybody, and welcome to the new training on setting up Google Tag Manager. And this is, you use this when your GTM integration is not working. The reason for also sharing this is we're finding that Google has got a hard limit on the number of API calls that we can make, and so as the number of as the number of LeadsHook users has increased, we're finding that we're hitting this limit more frequently. So it may mean that the integration that we have inside LeadsHook with Google Tag Manager might actually not even be a good way to go forward with. It just won't work because of the number of users that there are. We've asked Google to increase our limit or our quota, and that remains to be seen whether they comply with us or not. We've even offered we've got our payment accounts sitting there, so I can't see why they wouldn't make any money out of this, but for some reason they haven't done that. So anyway, that leaving that aside, we need to keep the show on the road. We need to keep moving. So I'm going to show you how to set up Google Tag Manager the old way. This is before we integrated the API. This is how we used to set it up. So we're going back to the original way. It does have a few extra steps, so I'll just quickly run through those. So step one is we'll be give you a brief overview of Google Tag Manager if you don't have any experience in that. So I'll be going through that first. Second thing, we'll be adding in Google Analytics, so we're covering that because that's one of the main ways or reasons to use Google GTM or Google Tag Manager. It's not the only reason, but that's probably the main one to simplify your tracking. Of course, you can add other tags as well, which we'll cover. Number three is importing the LeadsHook GTM container into your GTM account. So I'll give you a specially prepared container. Number four is we're going to be updating the GTM variables. That's essentially changing your website address, the LeadsHook account ID, and those sort of things, so that GTM works properly. And we'll be updating the referral list in Google Analytics to ensure that we don't track referrals among ourselves. Installing the Google GTM inside LeadsHook and what to do there. Lastly, we'll be doing some testing to make sure that everything's working as expected. The cross-domain tracking is working. And then step 8 is adding in Facebook and other trackers and tags. So GTM is quite flexible in what you can do. You can actually do quite a lot with Google Tag, with GTM, not just track Google Analytics and or the various tracking systems out there. It does do other things. So we won't be going through that, but we'll be covering at least how to add Facebook to it, and then you just rinse and repeat with the other things. The step 9 will be setting up Google Analytics, which is how do you set up the goals inside Google Analytics so that it works with your LeadsHook decision trees, and then also setting up your Google Ads conversions tracking to make sure that we close the loop, and if we do start running Google Ads, what to do. And step 11, if we get a chance, we'll also look at how to do conversions tracking in Facebook as well. All right, so that covers the introduction, and I'll go through step 1 next.